right, that music just won't go away like a bad penny. It keeps turning up. ETN, one more day, the last one ever. David, our guest Guggen judge.
If we can find the first judge in 3 days to not be a part of the problem.
He'll go down in history as the greatest.
Good morning, David. Are you ready to go? Are we ready to do this?
I'm ready.
All right, let's go.
What's David taking home, Beef?
David, for his efforts,
Is he going boogity?
Like all our Guggen judges this week, is going to get himself a family 4-pack to head down for the Coca-Cola Firecracker 250. That's coming up Friday, July 6th down at Daytona International Speedway. Also, keep listening for that cue to the text line for your chance to be entered to win tickets to the Coke Zero Sugar 400.
Round one.
Round one, guys. Last night, Jackson Coar was razor sharp after a bit of a shaky first inning, and the Gators knock out Texas 6-1. They await another elimination game on Thursday. Still have to win 3 straight. So is the arrow up on Florida right now, at least a little bit?
I just think it's too difficult to come back. It's been done twice since the format went this way in '99, so it's doable. They've got to get back to Singer and Coar, and even that's not a slam dunk. These are really good hitting teams that are in their side. Arkansas has been mashing the baseball, and Texas Tech showed what they could do against Brady Singer originally. So to win 3 straight, look, it's great that they eliminated Texas. Get to stay out there, and if you can win another one, then but 3 in a row just to get to the final championship best of 3 is a tough road to hoe.
Yeah, and you don't have to worry about the final championship best of 3. Can you win 3 in a row? And the answer is, of course you can. You have 2 first-round Major League drafted pitchers on your roster who won't be asked to go back out until. I don't know why Singer wouldn't pitch on 4 days rest. And then that gives Coar another day, and the Gators are the number 1 seed and the defending national champs. So if any team can do it, last night was the danger game. You got the hangover from losing to Texas Tech. Not that these remaining games aren't dangerous. You lose and you go home, but what better Army to take on that battle than the one they've got from Gainesville?
Yeah, I agree with Jeff. I think any team that could do it would be this Gators team. They got some mental base yesterday, too. It could have been worse. So,
Round 2.
Round 2, guys. We're in the gap between mini camp and training camp as we wait. ESPN's Field Yates examined all 32 teams to look at what the biggest roster decision will be for each club. For the Jags, he identified the biggest decision as Dante Fowler. I think we all feel like that decision's already been made. So if it's not Fowler, what is the biggest question mark / decision left to be made on that roster, in your opinion?
Yeah, honest to gosh, sometimes ESPN will write a column and then it'll recirculate, maybe even by accident, but it was initially posted in February. Round of applause to Field Yates to give us the March storyline. The decision on Dante Fowler, you big dolt, was already made, but he didn't pick up his option. Now, look, there aren't a lot of roster decisions. What do you mean decision? Are you going to decide when you're going to keep someone on your roster and when, some of these young superstars are going to get paid? That's one thing. To be honest with you, it's a dumb question. There aren't any roster decisions. How are guys going to play to determine are they a part of this roster moving forward? But to me, roster decision implies salary and signing someone you don't have, or they got no-brainer roster decisions on these young defensive players, and the only other player on the team whose standing is ultimately important right now is Blake Bortles and how he plays with the roster decision they made about him in January. I'm just not sure that sometimes every single issue applies to all 32 teams.
Beef, what's the question again, please, sir?
The question is, if the biggest roster decision on the Jags is not Dante Fowler, what is it?
Biggest roster decision on the Jaguars, and this is good news when you're a good football team, is the wide receiver position and who's going to make it. And obviously, folks around here know the name Rashad Green a little bit, and that's because of his success at FSU. He had a little bit of success with the Jaguars as a punt returner and a receiver. Well, the question is can he stay healthy? Can he come on? Can he make the football team? Can he be one of those 6 receivers? That remains to be seen. There is a lot of depth at that position, a lot of guys fighting for spots. And one of the problems for Green is last year's Rashad Green, Jadon Mickens had a pretty good year as well. So when you're a good team, it comes down to those type of things, and those are the type of roster spots you have to look at.
Yeah, winner day.
Round 3.
Round 3, guys. One other NFL thought. You guys
Sure.
talked yesterday about the a little unusual sit down with Oprah that Tom Brady gave, where he talked about retirement talk and retirement thoughts creeping into his mind more and more as time goes on. And yesterday, Brady kind of cryptically replied to a Instagram comment on his official page about his retirement with the Jeff, could you go ahead and pronounce this for me? I'm not really great with Spanish. He replied,
45.
which is Spanish for 45.
45, yeah.
Should we read anything into this, what seems to be an uptick in retirement talk from Tom Brady?
It must be the off season. It must be the middle of June. And we've pretty much, and he has pretty much established that he wants to play football until he's 45 years old. He's going to try, and every year he's going to come back and reevaluate because he has to. Because guess what? As I've always said, and we've always said, Father Time is undefeated, and he may step up and get Tom Brady this year. We just don't know. So, I think Tom Brady would love to play until he's 45. He's going to do it a little bit differently now because he's going to spend a little bit more time with his family in the offseason and not worry as much about, I'm sure that was OTAs and such, and I'm sure that was a point of contention with Mrs. Brady. So, I don't think there's anything new here whatsoever.
His unbelievable plan to play until he's 45. Dateline November 2017. Tom Brady says he wants to play to 45. Dateline May 15th, 2017. Tom Brady tells ESPN playing until 45 seems like a pretty good number. Yeah, retirement uptick, sure. Now that we've let the masses, the huddled masses of stupidity get involved in the narrative.
Oh, that was good. Winner, Jeff.
Round 4.
Round 4, guys, shifting gears. The NBA draft is tomorrow night. People seem to believe that DeAndre Ayton is the slam dunk number 1 pick, the big man out of Arizona. Some even are calling him the best prospect at the center position that we've seen in years. So I guess the question to you is, do you agree with that notion, and just how far ahead of the pack is he?
No, I don't agree with it at all. I'm sorry. Somebody remind me again how Arizona did in the tournament. Oh, that's right. They lost round 1. That Arizona, that number 1 pick. No, DeAndre Ayton to me has bust written all over him. If you had to tell me, if you gave me the choice of perennial all-star or bust, I'd have to go bust. The truth is, he'll probably end up somewhere in the middle. This isn't a finished product who's going to step into the league and dominate it. I don't believe that. Maybe potentially he will, but this supposed gap between Ayton and Bamba to me doesn't exist near to the degree that it's being played.
Well, I disagree. I watched Mohamed Bamba. I watched DeAndre Ayton. DeAndre Ayton's head and shoulders better than Mohamed Bamba right now. So I would take DeAndre Ayton in a second. I think Karl Anthony Towns has been successful and Anthony Davis has been successful. But the bottom line is, for any basketball team, you need more than one. You need 2 or 3 in this day and age, and maybe 4 if you want to compete. But at least it's a start. I think DeAndre Ayton is the smart pick. He's 7 foot tall. He's got a huge wingspan, and he can run and shoot. So, I think he's going to have a lot of double-doubles. Heck, if you look at the double-doubles he amassed in college in one season, he has the second most in the history of college basketball after 1 year, and the 3 guys that he's around are all flourishing in the NBA. So I think DeAndre Ayton is going to be a very good player in the association.
Yeah, he'll have success in the NBA. Winner to him.
Round 5.
Well, speaking of guys that some think will have success and some think will not.
Ayton versus the field, rookie of the year. Got to get a dime from anyone?
Dime.
No? Dime? David? Dime? No?
Can we get that Kepka dime back? Speaking of guys people think will boom or bust potentially in the association, he's not in the mix at number 1, but he might be in the mix for both of our teams, Dan.
Yes.
It's the reigning National Player of the Year, Trae Young.
Yes.
Who, obviously could fill it up at Oklahoma, but some question whether his size and game translates. So what's more likely, that Trae Young goes boom or Trae Young goes bust?
I'll speak to this one as a fan, and it's probably, not the smartest thing to do, but as a Knicks fan, I want Trae Young. I want Trae Young to fall to us. And the worst thing that can happen is we don't take Trae Young and we take the Knox kid from Kentucky. who I've seen that happen in a couple mocks. That would be a huge disappointment to me. I think you got to roll the dice on a guy like Trae Young, and the reason you do that is because of a guy named Curry. And because this guy Curry's had so much success and Trae Young sort of resembles him in a lot of ways, you want to roll the dice and see if Trae Young can be that kind of shooter, that kind of pass and create shot taker in the NBA. So I'm more than willing to roll the dice on Trae Young.
Yeah, I know. The problem here is the comparison. And you're going to give me Steph Curry as a comparison, who's like a two-time MVP and the best shooter maybe that the NBA's ever seen. You're doomed to not live up to that. And that's the unfortunate thing for Trae Young. He will ultimately, bust may be too strong, but he ain't going to be Steph Curry. And that's what people are expecting out of him. He's going to go about the same place in the draft. He's not near as smooth. He's not near as quick. And you're talking about a 6'1" point guard, shot about 40% from the field. It doesn't exactly light up NBA stat lines.
Yeah, Trae Young is no Steph Curry. I'd rather have Lonzo Ball or Jeff.
Oh,
this is why ETN must come to an end.
We live for another day. That's a great
David
format.
just said, quote, I'd rather have Lonzo Ball.
You are a hater.
Yeah, that's why,
Leave
gang.
Lonzo alone.
You people have to look in the mirror and understand what you've done to this proud franchise
Kill Green
called
and let me
ETN
celebrate.
that we started. We have no understanding. We don't get it. And these asinine decisions are not going to allow ETN to continue.
You're right, it was asinine. Should have been 5-0.
Today is the final program.
Today was a 5-0
last
day.
one of ETN in the history. I refuse to ever do it again.
Good.
Ever.
Excellent.
After that.
See you guys.
I'd rather have Lonzo Ball.
See you guys tomorrow about 7:18.
Fight to the end, 'cause your life will depend on the strength that you have inside.
The Drill on 1010XL. From the studios of Republic Services, we'll handle it from here. He's homegrown. He's down to earth. He's Ryan the Hacker Green. Hacker After Dark. Weeknights on 1010XL.
During your First Coast Acura dealer's summer event, Acura models come more equipped than Lexus for less than a Toyota or BMW. Drive home a new 2018 MDX for $13,000 less than a BMW X5. FirstCoastAcuraDealers.com. MDX MSRP $44,200. Dealer set their own price. Destination and handling are extra.
This is firefighter Rafael Porriet reminding you that every day a portion of every Firehouse Subs purchase goes towards helping first responders. Try the new pastrami Reuben, loaded with hot pastrami, sweet and tangy slaw, and melted Swiss. For a limited time, get a medium pastrami Reuben for just $6.39. Firehouse Subs. Enjoy more subs, save more lives. Limited time offer at participating locations. Firehouse Subs will donate a minimum of $1 million in 2018 to the Firehouse Subs Public Safety Foundation by donating 0.13% of every purchase.
A lot of companies will tell you they're the best. At Custom Tree Surgeons, they show you every time. Custom Tree Surgeons has built an all-pro team. Every tree service professional has years of experience, continually trained and certified. They know what, when, and how to handle